It's already on.
Oh, we're filming. I didn't see you guys here. It's been a while since we've just shown you guys what a regular day looks like around here. I think today's a regular day, and we're just gonna try and show you. So it starts with 8:30 when Cammy starts reading a psalm to one of the kids, and they do 30 minutes of quiet time.
No. Oh, yeah, let's do that, but you do your quiet time.
Then comes my favorite part of the day, and that's when Cammy and I spend about 30 to 60 minutes out on the porch drinking our coffee. The sun comes up right behind this tree. I spend time writing out Jeremiah, and this is a book that I read almost every day.
I've been writing out Isaiah, and then I have different devotional books. This one by Tim Keller.
Cammy's handwriting is like a font.
This is my cursive.
Jeez.
Yes, I won an award when I was in 4th grade. Well, this is 12-step devotional for Essanon. And then I have this Jesus Calling book that, again, it's another devotional thing. Someone who watches our vlog sent it to me, and I use it almost every day. And then this is my 1 line a day, but for me it's like 4 lines a day journal. It's like 5 years that you can look back on that I'm actually really excited.
But this time is so special. It just kind of starts off our day together and peacefully and drinking coffee. Oh, I love it.
And now our Hebrew teacher is here at 9:30. Boker tov. Boker tov. Shalom. Shalom.
What are you looking for? Oh, you're rah-rah? Let's talk about this. He calls these his rah-rah because they go like this. Rah-rah-rah-rah. Sometime every morning I have to review the vlog episode that 7 edited, which takes somewhere between 15 minutes and an hour because I have to make changes and then we have to get it all published. So this is where the editing happens, down here. This is the vlog trailer that he just edited. And it probably took him how many hours?
Right. Like including filming?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Right now I am heading out to go to lunch with Dove, Eden, and Seven, because every Thursday, whoever won the goals from the previous week gets to choose the place we go out to lunch. And at this lunch we look at the goals that they accomplished from the previous week, we give them grades, and we set new goals. So this is like how a lot of our family's Instagram page goes up, even publishing videos. A lot of their little projects like the music videos you see Dove publish, or the magic videos or Lego videos you see Seven and Eden publish. This is how that gets done.
While Ben's away having lunch with the older kids, I'm here with the younger kids having lunch. Today we're having leftover day. We got lots of leftovers. Our afternoons are fairly unscheduled, but at 4:30 we try to go for a run. We normally have dinner around 6:30, and on Thursday nights, 7 makes dinner.
What do we got here, 7? Enchiladas, peppers, looks like Dada brought out olives.
Enchiladas. Recently, we've started reading a proverb after dinner every night.
Okay, tonight we are reading Proverbs 3. We're gonna talk about our schedule, and I wanted to do this fancy thing on a chalkboard, or I was trying to figure out how to share a Google Calendar, but we're just gonna talk about it, and you're gonna have to visualize it yourself. The topic of this vlog is really important to us. And we did a vlog on our schedule, I think it was about a year ago, but our schedule has changed a lot since then, and there's probably a lot of new people here. We're glad that you're here. So we wanted to give you guys a whole picture of our schedule right now of probably some of the most important things that happen every week that are family schedules.
Yeah.
So this isn't everything, but it's a lot. Let's start off with kind of like kids in education. And right now we're doing Hebrew 5 days a week.
In the morning.
That is at 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, and that is all of our kids, including parents, with the exception of Rainier, who just kind of like causes trouble and destroys things in that time period. We also do music 2 days a week, which is a pretty big investment for us. Those are both private lessons.
Ben and I take lessons once a week, but most of our kids are doing it twice. And that's piano and guitar.
And we really see them enjoying that. And in a way, that's the most consistent and heavily investing with time and money that we're doing in our kids' education right now. We're not, if there's not other things we're mentioning, it might be because they don't exist in our schedule. So we're not doing any math, we're not doing any English, we're not doing any science. My mom's doing something, right?
She does science once a week with the kids. I used to read novels to the kids, and I used to do history once a week, but that kind of got squeezed out when we started Hebrew 5 days a week.
On the physical side, there's working out. As a family with our 3 oldest kids, we do this like weightlifting type thing that you see in the mornings. That's 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m.
Yep.
Sometimes it ends up being like 7:05 or 7:10. And then there's running. That happens 3 days a week.
Yep.
I love that, how that works out, because that's
the
3 days a week.
Days of the workout, yeah.
That's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and we try and do that at 4 p.m. And
usually it's like 5 p.m.
If I was people watching us, I think I would think, oh, they must really want to look chiseled or just run marathons. And we found that regular exercise, I think, is more beneficial, at least for me, for our everyday feeling good. Like health, stress, tension, and even on the spiritual side, doing hard things and kind of defeating what we used to call defeating the flesh, or just like the natural impulses where you're like starting off the day doing some hard things, and even relational stuff. It's fun doing hard things with the kids, and I love the conversations that happen with running. So it's not...
So it fits in our growing category, like personal growth.
And our runs right now are usually about 4-mile runs. We're not training for the marathon, or we're just kind of just trying to get out there and stretch and sweat.
We do a family 12-step confession every Monday night after dinner.
We don't call it confession, but that's what the highest value, I think, is.
Yeah, and it's optional. Like, you don't have to talk if you don't want to talk.
But it provides a space where, as parents, we can lead our children in our weakness, actually. And where they have a space where they can just share things, and we only listen. It's not a teaching time. We don't offer advice.
It's probably one of the few places we're all on the same level, because we're not giving advice. We watch a documentary or a teaching every Tuesday night after dinner. We go through the Bible every Thursday night.
Every day we start off at 8:30. Cammie will read a psalm to the kids right after breakfast.
It kicks off their quiet time, and then Ben and I will have our quiet time around the same time.
And then at dinner we just started doing Proverbs, like you guys saw. But this is just like looking at the Bible as a story.
Ben and I have a counseling session every other week, usually on Thursday afternoons. Ben and I go on a date night every Wednesday night. So the kids make their own dinner and we go out to dinner.
This has been a thing that we've done for 2 or 3 years. I remember when we first got married and you suggested a date night, and all I could think about was we'd have to pay $60 for childcare. And I was like, holy crap.
I was the first one to suggest it, yeah. I don't remember that, but...
And now, I really enjoy it. I really look forward to it.
Yeah.
But there's also a principle that we believe, which is our relationship needs to get the first and best investment. We're not around them for a night and they kind of are on their own. We think they benefit in the long run from that, and we just enjoy it. And this is like the romantic investment side.
Ben and I have a breakfast business meeting every Tuesday morning. This is where we bring things that have kind of collected over the past week that we haven't really had time to talk through. It's kind of like the back burner stuff. A lot of times it's when we decide what to put on the calendar and when.
And most of the things we just talked about actually got planned at a Tuesday morning breakfast business meeting. That was how it happened. And we show those to you guys, but we picked fun places to go to breakfast and try and make it interesting. You saw our weekly goals meeting. That's something I do with the kids to set creative vision to try and capture their talent and to hold them accountable and to keep them learning new things.
Ben and I schedule sex 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. And that's just like a place marker of when we're both expecting to have sex.
I think some people have some hang-ups with that. Although in the comment section today or yesterday, I saw someone said that they scheduled sex as a result of watching this vlog and they said it's been the best thing ever. That's really cool.
In the past, I had a lot of anxiety because I felt like Ben wanted sex more than I did, and I had a lot of anxiety around that. And so having that scheduled, it took away a lot of that, and for me to be able to know what's expected.
Figuring out schedules and whether or not to do something takes a lot of energy. Sometimes it takes so much energy that by the time you get done figuring it out, you don't have any time to do the actual thing. The most important thing, especially with scheduling sex, but with any schedule, is that we agree. So as long as we could agree like once on something, it took so much less energy having to like figure out every time. Some people said that it killed the romance. I don't get that. Either you're only having sex when you feel romantic, which I don't know how often that would be after we have 6 kids or something like that.
Yeah.
And 17 years of marriage. We don't wait on just romance to have sex. We think it's more important than that. Probably the most important thing in our schedule in the entire week was the only weekly event that's actually one of the 10 commandments, which is, we call it Shabbat. That's the Jewish word for Sabbath or rest. And that starts at Friday night for us and goes to Saturday night. And for us, we've never filmed a Shabbat day, although I've had in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, maybe I'd do that after filming for a year. We're almost on 2 years now and I still haven't done it. But it's the most special day for our family. And we have the best dinner of our entire week, Friday night, every Friday. It's like Christmas dinner feel, what we're shooting for.
And then the best breakfast.
The best breakfast on Saturday morning. We'll do pancakes or waffles, or this Saturday's donuts. That's the day we allow our kids to eat sugar, like no holds barred, like the younger ones. So they really look forward to that day because they know they get to eat all the candy they've been saving up. And Friday nights we watch a movie together. A lot of the reason why we started this vlog was actually because of what we've learned from scheduling our life, specifically in weekly increments. I used to believe that life was about these giant epic events. And we have our fair share of those, you know, the annual marathon, the bucket list type thing, the skydiving. But what we believe is that most of the life change that has occurred, the real sexiness of life, comes from a good, solid week. And it's the thing that we actually have the most control over. A lot of long-term bucket list things, they're too hard to plan for. They're just not that great. They don't work very well. And then by the time you get to them, actually, it's like, oh, okay. Skydiving was like, that was okay. What was the big deal? We didn't know of a better way to share with people how our life has actually been changing from this really, it's kind of monotonous actually. It's like, you know, we show it, it's like coffee every day, working out. I'm sure maybe you get sick of seeing it, but it's just the same thing over and over again. And we course correct. Our schedule is changing all the time, but there's kind of a common backbone. We really started to believe though that if something really is valuable, the best tool that we have in our tool belt is to schedule it once a week. Otherwise,
it won't happen.
Otherwise it won't happen, and we should probably just call it not valuable to us. Because the reality is
not valuable enough.
Valuable enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Helen Keller said this, quote, action expresses priorities. And to just add to it weekly action, you know, rhythmic action, doing something again and again and again. So as you guys look at this, the thing I like about the schedule, it's just on this right here, you can learn about who the Crawfords are, I think, by what we do and what we prioritize. I think you can learn about your family by what you choose to prioritize every week. And what we've learned is if you don't proactively schedule it, usually it gets filled up with just stuff that is not that valuable, or that at the end of your life we're like, oh, how did I spend my time again?
It's like busy stuff, like maybe stuff that, yeah, you don't even want to invest in, but you get kind of carried away.
Stuff that feels urgent, or stuff that feels important, or even just the easiest thing oftentimes takes priority in our schedule. So we want the type of schedule that builds into our values, and I feel really happy about our schedule now. But it's the most valuable tool we have. So when we first think of, when we learn something new and we're like, okay, let's change something.
Yeah.
What we do is we add it to our calendar. In fact, this just happened this last week or two where we said, hey, I want to go through the Psalms and Proverbs like regularly. I don't think this one night of going through the Bible is enough. So we said, okay, let's do our existing quiet time and let's schedule it during dinner.
And the once in a while stuff too, we realize you have to like put that on the calendar. So like our time with one of our kids the other night, we put that on the calendar on Tuesday morning at our business meeting. We did it right then and there. Otherwise, it's either not gonna happen or it's not gonna happen for a while.
We started really focusing on this calendar about 10 years ago. So what you see now is 10 years of making mistakes and trying things out.
So stifling.
We didn't have anything before.
And just like crazy to do that.
I remember our first calendar was such a failure because we were so ambitious and we had no idea. We were just trying to copy people.
Yeah.
And we had never done one, and we both hated calendars, I think. In some ways I feel like I'm out of the box, and there's certain constraints I don't like, but I've really accepted the freedom that comes. I think this order in the universe, this like life cycle of weeks and months and annual things, it's actually not an accident that we're programmed this way. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I would love to hear in the comments if there's any way that anything you guys have learned from these types of calendars, or things that you guys have learned that you can share with other people. And I hope you guys as a family start creating some events that express your values, and especially things that your family can do together. What we found is that schools already have calendars, workplaces have calendars. Those aren't like, those are strong. Churches have calendars, but families, for whatever reason, oftentimes don't schedule important things.
Or they let themselves be dictated by those three categories instead of, what do we want?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because our family calendar, if you look at a calendar, it fills up most of it. And we give what's left over to work, to church, to
school.
Yeah, that gets the bare bones. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.